4, 3, 2, 1. Right? Anyways. It's just that day. It's just that kind of day where you just kind of go forward and you're like, moving on, trudging forward, tromping in, showing progress. I didn't think I had a busy day ahead of me, and then, but wait, there's more. So I had a very busy day, and I'm just now kind of settling down from coffee chat first thing this morning. Like, it just boom, 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 right down the pike, right? So here we are, moving forward, saying hi, getting online for a little while. Your West Foundation wall is completed. Yes, Lori. Yay, 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 yay. I know what I need to do is set a schedule so you guys know when I'm going to get on. It's been a request for many years that Lisa actually sets up a schedule so people know when she's going to be on in the evening. But life is unpredictable, isn't it? And I hate to say I'm going to be here at a certain time and then not actually show. I find that to be very distressing. And I'm going to share it for just a minute. So I hope everybody had a great day, is having a great day. It's still 5 o'clock. It's almost 5 o'clock here in Santa Fe land. Like that? Santa Fe land? It's a whole new land. Hi, everybody. I know, Brenda. I know. I'm working on it. It would have to be a Tuesday or Thursday. And we have so much going on in the membership. I don't want to infringe upon somebody's time in the membership now, because we now have members that are getting on and doing chats here and there, right? So we're trying not to infringe upon other people's areas as well, but there's just things we have to do, things we need to do. And I'm trying to do the things I need to do by making sure I do my sharing and all that stuff. I'm probably going to post on somebody. They're not going to be super happy with me. And I'm trying to not piss people off. Okay, so I'm done with that. All right. Da-da-da-da. You took a mental health day and vegged. So important. Right, Lisa Phillips? So important. So come to find out, somebody was traveling around in our yard in Oklahoma, in the backyard. So Sam has to go home this weekend and make sure everything is still there, and that, because we're still in the process. Hey, Jennifer, we're still in the process of getting that place sold, and that's never. If that man, whom I love, come into my room and take my stuff again. Honest to goodness, I think he did. He keeps coming in and taking my lighter. How am I supposed to sage my shit if I don't have a lighter, man? Am I missing it? Is it hiding? No. He has absconded with it. Sorry. It's okay. Just pull a little essential oil. I'm going to spray that all over. It'll be fine. Nothing is sacred. Did you take it to the grill? Oh my gosh, you guys. So Sam, we had people over this past weekend, and Sam put together the what is it thing? The smoker. Our family and their family of 3, and he cooked 4 racks of ribs, a bag of chicken, another bag of chicken, and I'm going, who the hell are you cooking for? Who are you cooking for? He goes, well, I'm sending some home. Yeah, we sent them home with, like, no joke, like 7 pounds of meat. Light your fire. Come on, baby, light my fire. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Why? No. I'm serious. He took it. It's not here. Barbecued ribs. It was amazing. It was so good. And then he made potato salad. So Sam makes the best potato salad. It's really, really good. Anyhow, we're going to move on. But what he did bring in, you want to see the dogs run? He did bring in, he got in tuning bowls. Well, I'm not patient enough to make it do its thingy right now because I'm holding my hand. He did get in tuning bowls. We only got to sell them in a package deal for Lionsgate. Is that what it is? It is whatever it is. Okay. Oh, you know why I'm feeling like I need to sage myself? Oh my God. Found a Kraken crab type place in Omaha. Did you? That was a good place, right? It was good. Because I've been sitting here holding agnamanitite. I was doing it while I was doing a reading. I'm like, agnamanitite actually, you guys, vibrates higher than moldavite. It is only found in Java, underwater, and they're called pearls of fire. And I hope you're feeling better, Meredith Tyler. Hi, Angel. We didn't go to the Kraken crab place? Yeah, we did, Lori. We went. Oh, you haven't gone there. Okay. But these are called pearls of fire. They vibrate really, really, really high. Okay. Hi, everybody. If everybody could share one time, that'd be great. Just came in, picked up my phone to check it. And there we are. Okay. So we're going to talk about Akashic records today. First of all, who doesn't know what Akashic records are? And we'll do a short description. Short, abbreviated. For all of those that have been waiting, for the intuitive development class, we are doing it differently this time. It is actually already posted in the My Mystical Life events. And do you think that I came here prepared with that link? Of course not. Of course I didn't. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? Because is that my webpage? No, that's the wrong one. This is I've had one message after another today. It's been quite eventful. Lots of fun. We have discussed, you can see I'm working, multitasking. We have discussed, invite? How do we do this? No? There we go. Okay. Salem? I have to find myself again. Wait a minute. There we are. Okay. We have discussed, Salem, right? We have a deadline for Salem. You have to be registered for Salem, and we've made it easy where you can make 2 payments on Salem instead of I'm watching, guys. If you want to go to Salem, there's a deadline, but you can split your payment in half, and it tells you how to do that on the webpage. Sorry, got distracted. Squirrel. So that's the link, you guys, right there. I just posted the link that takes you to our Facebook event. It is not a 3-month class. It is not a 3-month class. Hey, Tammy Emmett. So just know that this is going to be, it's a 2-day boot camp. It is going to be a different kind of class for us. We're not slow strolling into this. We are going to have so much stinking fun figuring out our grounding spaces and our centering and our protection and stepping off into our energy with our guides and stuff. You guys are going to have so much fun. I already have it all scheduled and planned in my brain. It is, we can slow waltz into it for 3 months, and it's going to cost you more, but this is cheaper, but also just going to be a lot of fun. I already have it set up in my brain. Oh yeah. And it's nothing to be worried about because you are going to come out on the other side of that with confidence. I just here's the link. There's the link right there. I just posted it. It's fb.me. Sounds dirty. It just does. Sorry. So that is coming up. That is the 11th and 12th of 14th. No, that's next month. I'm sorry. I'm so lost. I live between now and November at this moment because I have to pre-plan classes that far. That's the 11th and 12th of September between 11 and 4 Central Time. So those both days will be Zoom rooms, and we're going to be breaking off into to breakout rooms and practicing as we go, so you guys can see how much you are already working intuitively and you didn't even know it. Everybody is, and they didn't even know it. Okay, so today we're talking about the Akashic calls. Akashic calls are a record of everything you have ever done, ever will do in this dimension and any other dimension, right? It is everything. Every experience, every sound, every passing of gas, you guys, it's all there for everybody to view. So they're like, wait, who uses it for that? I work extensively in the Akashic calls. I also have another date planned as well. I have a planned date in October. Matter of fact, I'll tell you what it is. I don't have it in the events yet, but I will. 2nd and 3rd of October for our level 2 My Mystical Life Late Bloomers Boot Camp. That one, I don't have it up yet. I'm getting there. Be patient. Is on energy transfer healing, angel communication, chakra reading, Akashic calls, working with your animal totems, and then I have one that I kind of not I wrote it down, but I'm not liking it. So I might actually go into the extraterrestrial on that. So that is going to be the 2nd and 3rd. And that's the 2nd level of My Mystical Life. It's a boot camp thing again, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Anyway, I don't have it up yet. It will be. Rhonda, girl, yes. Yes, alumni can sign up for part 2. Yes, absolutely. Alumni can sign up for part 2. Anyway, so the Akashic calls. Let's talk about the Akashic calls. The Akashic calls, you'll generally work really well closely with Archangel Metatron if you are. No, that's in October, Kelly. That's in October. Beginning of October, first weekend in October. When you're working in the halls, you may come across sacred geometry. You may come across Archangel Metatron, the Violet Flame, Saint Germain, any other angel that feels they need to work with you. You might run into them into the Akashic halls. So what we're going to do today is, if everybody will share one time to a group, that would be fabulous. And we're going to talk about Akashic calls for individual people and see where we have been in our past lives. When you're working in the Akashic calls, you're actually in an altered state of brainwave. So it's actually something called spirit walking. It's just something that you can, with a lot of practice, step into consciously like this. So, but you'll hear a lot of people, they meditate to make this happen, right? Because everybody can have access to their halls. And I think it's important that people realize just how expansive their soul is. So let's go on with D. Bashaw. Are you still here? D. Bashaw, are you still here? D. Thank you, guys. D. Let me roll back up here so I can see. Ooh. D, are you still here? Okay. See, I got a reaction from poking around in your house. D, I want to talk about you being an enforcer. I want to talk about a past life where you were, and I'm sorry, you guys, if all past lives were fluffy and if they were all fluffy and pretty past lives, we wouldn't be learning anything, right? We'd all be living in like nirvana and not going forward. We'd all be in this little capsule of time. This is definitely a male past life. I have to tell you, I actually hear the word, what is it? You got to get the Bastille. I hear the Bastille. I have no idea. I know the reference to it. Yeah, I know Odin's crashed. The Bastille, is that French? Is that French? Or yeah, that's French, isn't it? Is the Bastille French? I feel like it is. I feel like this person actually was very multilingual. Like he was multilingual. He was not highly educated, but he lived close enough to a border of something that he talked multiple languages. He was very, very quiet man. Um, he was very thoughtful and introspective. He kept his words to himself often, because he didn't want to discuss a lot of things in his life. And I'm sorry about this. He had a family. The family was the same way, very quiet, serene people, easygoing, just moved through life quite peacefully. And I'm glad that he found that peace here, okay? Because what he did for his people, that's the way he puts it. He did this for his people. He was an executioner. I'm sorry. It was like the first thing that come across. It was like really, really obvious. So I need to talk to you about that. I need to talk to you about it. I don't want you to think it's a horrible thing, because he had to find peace. He struggled, right? Who wouldn't struggle with that job? He struggled to figure out who he was on the inside, and he had to live there instead of what he was asked to do by the government, by the people in power, what his job was, because it was not something that you turned down as a position if it was offered to you, I think. It was something that uh, he felt he could do swiftly. So that's where his compassion comes into this play. He says, I could do this quickly, and it was painless as possible. And that is how he settled that in his soul. Right. Nobody asks how the executioner feels. You're right. He settled this in his soul as, I am a bringer of compassion. If somebody, I don't even know how they at the Bastille, I don't know, did they, because I keep getting this downward. I don't know if they actually chopped their heads off or the guillotine. I don't know how they did it, but I get this. And he talks about, it could be somebody that screws up. He'd rather be one to make sure it's done thoroughly. So if you have this feeling of, I have to cross my T's and dot my I's and be very thorough in the things that I do and concise like this, a lot of these things will come from that as well. But so will being very, very tenderhearted. He saw a lot of death, but he saw more than the death. I need you to know that. He saw more than the death. He saw the loss from the people in the crowd as well. The loss of, oh gosh, he's really deep. He saw the loss of the breakdown of how humanity would, in front of him, cheer for the death of somebody they didn't even know. They didn't know who they were. They didn't know what they did. They might have called out what that person did, but he watched society anger like that, and it hurt him a lot. He watched loved ones from people that were being executed in the crowd breaking down, and he did his very, very, very best to not carry this through. And I want to talk about his wife. His wife was extremely compassionate. She was his rock. She was his stability. He would come home and he would just be trying to decompress. And of course, they didn't do this every day. There was no execution every day. He did other things. But no, he's talking about a bloody time. A bloody time is what he says. It was a very bloody time. So he would come home and she would just be like, okay, here's your food. Sit down. How can I help you? Here's a mug. Here's just come on. And she tried to liven the mood in the home, which she did very well. Also, I want to say that this person is probably in your life now as in the form of a friend, like somebody that's always cheery, and you look at him and you go, how can you be so cheery all the time? I just don't get it. I feel like that person is in this lifetime with you as well. But the soul fragmentation from having to be that person is, it was there. It's there. And I'm going to actually take care of this after, if you want me to reintegrate that soul fragment. Since my classes that I've been taking, my intuition and my mediumship is just bonkers, like bonkers. Just like, please. So interesting past life, but it was very immediate and this is what she needs to know. This is why there's some things going on in life that she needs to release and let go. I hope that's helpful, Dee. I really do. Okay, I'll take care of that. Also, that might be associated with a back problem as well, like a feeling of tenseness in the back. Well, hello, lovely coconuts. So there is that. Okay, bonkers, right? Okay, so let's scroll through and let's see who we have here. I'm going to go with Tammy Amit. And I'm trying to figure out the lifetime. I'm trying to figure out and understand what is it with that today? I'm trying to understand the reference because I'm getting it from first person and I need to be able to step back from that a little bit, please. Um, I'm getting it very first person where it looks like me doing this action on this in this lifetime. So, and I know that's it's just a perspective that I need to step away from. So I have a large dog. I have a very large dog. I have a large dog too. But are you here, Tammy? Oh, thank you, Dakota. I love doing Akashic. I love being in the halls. It's so much fun. Are you still here, Tammy? Oh, I get it. Thank you. Okay. So I have this large dog, and the big thing that I'm noticing is that this large dog is on a leash. This is somebody. Right back at you, Dee. Right back at you. Blessings to you too. You're very welcome. This dog is pulling this person, this male energy through a field. And it's there's and I hear I hear the barking of the other dogs, the baying of the dogs. Oh, I understand this. Thank you. I think I get this. I think I got some of this. There's a lot of information coming in at one time. I hear the barking of other dogs. I hear tracking dogs. Ooh, ouch. Okay. Um, so I hear tracking dogs, and this is a second wave of dogs that go in. And this is really dramatic, actually. This is really dramatic. This person is doing everything he can do to fight this dog back. I actually feel like this is an Irish wolfhound or a very large, take them down, knock them out kind of dog. Okay. There's very much a hunting situation going on. But this is not a hunting situation where this is not hunting for like like we're going to go jump fences. This is not fancy English hunting. This is somebody that is sent. They're holding this dog back. They're holding this dog back so it doesn't kill the littler dogs. Okay, because if the littler dogs get in the way of the actual kill, they're going to be taken out as well, just because of they're in the way. Okay. And so this is a gentleman that's actually in charge of taking care of these large dogs. He's in charge of training them to be very effective. This man is very pivotal in the community's infrastructure of people in charge of important things. This is a I know this is like Scottish or this. I keep hearing this brogue in the background. I can't make out the words, but I keep hearing the brogue in the background. So I know there's some Scottish going on in here, and I feel like there's rocky terrain. I feel like we're going over, and they're showing me super green grass, and we're actually trudging over these like, and I hear them say moors. So they're going up and down all of these really cool things. I'm so glad you feel better, Dee. That's a huge past life. That's a huge past life. Um, uh, these dogs, I feel like they're hunting boar or some large, very nasty animal. Like they can't have the little dogs take care of it because the little dogs aren't geared to kill it. They're geared to track it. They find it, then they let the big dogs go when they call back the little dogs. And then the big dogs take off and they actually do the kill. I have a time frame on this. I have a time frame on this. This goes back to they're giving me the 1200s. They're saying that this is an old practice and that this was because the clothing was very rough, feels very rough on the skin as well. It is also very not, it's loose and it's tied here. It's tied with belts and things like that and wrapped around and wrapped around. And I actually feel like that the shoes, they're not actually shoes as much as they are boots with wrappings that come up, is what they're showing me. So it's like leather put on, and then they would wrap. I don't know. They're talking about bog boots. I don't know what the hell a bog boot is. Um, Bog boot. So they were disposable if they stepped in yuck. If they stepped in muck and mire, they were disposable. Then they could wash off the leather and then wash the stuff, and then they can move on. God, that dog is just strong. And it's a boar. They're boar hunting. They're boar hunting. So I want to talk about this guy. I know I've been talking about the whole situation that leads up to this. I want to talk about this guy. Oh, I understand. Thank you. I understand why he's being pulled along more than he is walking around. Yes, bog boots keep water out. I don't know. Moors and bogs are wetland terms. Okay. Um, uh, he has a pretty severe limp. He has a pretty severe limp. It's like his right leg has some issues with it. Like the hip has an issue. Like he took a bad spill. I actually feel like it was a horse spill. Um, but everything they do is on foot. So there's no like, you suck it up, buttercup, and you move forward because you got to survive, right? So that's what he's doing. He wants to talk about his family because the feeling of loneliness in his family is pretty profound. The moment that I'm picking up, and the reason I'm picking it up is because there's some soul loss going on at this moment that I'm seeing. And I feel like that the wife passed away. The wife passed away fairly recently, he gives me the feeling of hope. He gives me the feeling of hope and then diminishment. So I'm going to say that's actually a childbirth loss. Both the baby and the mother passed away. But he also talks about his young son. He talks about his young son and how he's going to teach his young son to be just as valuable with his contribution to the community as he is. I feel like he's part of, and he talks about reaving. He talks about reaving. He talks about, we can get that, and it's almost like a game. And I know what reaving is, so that's kind of a cheat there. But he talks about it being like a playful game in between clans. I actually want to say that this person passed away from a heart attack. He actually had a heart attack in his home one evening, and his son, he gives me the age of like 12. He says his son was like 8. He's very descriptive. His son was like 12 years old. Not yet a man, but old enough to learn how to work. He's, I'm not saying that. But I do know he had a heart attack. I got this feeling right down the side of me. As that's what you see me do this. That's because I had that feeling like a heart attack, right down that side. So I feel like his position actually in the community was actually pretty profound because he didn't just run those dogs; he owned those dogs. He was very, very, very valuable within the community. So when he passed, it became part of what his son. It was part of his son's inheritance to be in charge of these dogs. Of course, he had someone help him. I feel like there's a male that stepped in, but I don't know anything about that. And his main thing was he was worried about his son. And I actually feel like he stuck around for a little bit to help his son, make sure his son was okay, because after the mother was lost, it was really, really hard on them. And he does talk about the stress of that, and that loss of family was really, really difficult. And that's where he came in to talk about soul loss and loss of family and things like that. There you go. Interesting. We get some really interesting ones today. So far, we have the executioner and the dog hunter. But their main thing was boar. When they use these big dogs, they were for boar. And he talks about that love being the love of his life. Very close to a family. Okay. Losing family is difficult. Absolutely. Moving on. Okay. Which way are we going? I have no idea. There we go. All right. So let's see who we're pulling for next. Actually made me short of breath a couple times. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. I love working in the halls. I love, love, love working in the halls. I don't know if anybody else, I don't know who else on here works in the halls. But when I work in the halls, I have a certain set of protocols that I go through to get in there. And it usually involves getting a key from getting a permission from Archangel Metatron and the key from Saint Germain. So when I step in with the intention to have as much detailed information as possible. I want to see it like a movie. Are you live on YouTube? Yes, I am live on YouTube at the moment. We're multi-streaming. So if you don't see me, if you don't see the rest of the people that I'm reading for, it's because they're probably on Facebook. Facebook, yeah. So we are multi-streaming. So let's Demi 888. Let's go with you. Let's go with you. Oh, Demi. I just want to put the disclaimer out here. Okay. I have a stream that moves really fast to me. There's a lot of people that are shooting through on messages. So I try not to ignore people. But oh, you want to ask a question? Yeah, I'm doing Akashic right now. These are past lives. So normally in the morning is when I'm on there doing just general readings, and tonight I'm just doing random things. We're just doing what feels like we need to do it tonight. Hi, everybody. Hi, Cindy Burrell. Okay. Did you want a past life, Demi? Did you want a Akashic record? Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see. Bog boots. Let's read about the bog boots. Bog boots keep water out more in bog or wetlands. Leather straps. Is there something called bog boots in the past, you guys? Okay. Liz Caputa. I need to know where to go with that. It's funny because I know Liz and I talk here and there about celebrity channeling, and we actually were talking about John Candy. John Candy wants to come across, and I'm not ready to do John Candy on a dedicated moment at this time. I feel like there's a lot now called wellies. Oh, okay, guys. I feel like there's a lot of grief in his life, and I need to feel better before I'm on the mend, but I need to feel 100% before I bring in Candy. But Liz, I want to talk about all that jazz. I want to talk about all that jazz. A very recent past life. Past lives, we get all the way from whenever to now, right? And it doesn't mean that if you do one now close, it doesn't mean you don't have any from way back. It's just a matter of they want you to know about this right now. And actually, yeah, I'm not answering questions today, Demi. Not only that, they're saying this is important because you need validation, or you don't maybe need the validation, but it's always great to have it, right? So I want to talk about vaudeville. I want to talk about. I can answer your question, but I'm not doing that right now. I want to talk about vaudeville. I want to talk about even up into the 20. I don't know when vaudeville is. When is vaudeville? I have no idea. I hear vaudeville. I see the V, and I hear beating. I hear the beating. Oh wait, that sounds horrible. When I think of beating, I think of beads. I hear the sway of a beaded dress. I hear the sway. Oh, this is actually a short past life. I hear the sway of a beaded dress. Oh, but a famous past life, but not really. Ooh, interesting. Okay, let's do it. We have a lot of this today. A lot of change, a lot of things, a lot of murder and mayhem. not really, but I mean, it's just a lot of things moving on. Um, I get this, you can tell I'm still not quite feeling 100%. I get this swing, the swing, beaded dresses of the 1920s. Yeah, swing. Can you feel it? I mean, it's just right there. Okay, I'm gonna stop. But I hear the beat of the dress moving. And this was somebody, flappers, right? This is somebody that did not live a very long life. This is part of a case. This person is part of a case. This past life is part of a case, which really is cool, but not. Because I don't want to tell somebody they've had a very short last past life. This person didn't live past 23 years old. She liked to smoke cigarettes, and she was, I'm sorry, she was a little vain. She was very vain. She liked to smoke cigarettes, and her hair had to be perfect. And her shoes had to be perfect. Her shoes had to be cute. They had to be cute, but they had to be practical. She danced like that. No, she danced. And she could sing. And the reason I know she could sing is because I see her out there moving, keeping a beat, leaning on a piano, having a good time. Kind of a party girl. Okay, we're done with that. I almost want to say this is searchable. I almost want to say it's searchable, and I'm going to give you as much information as I can so you can look back and hopefully go, oh my gosh, I know who this is. Poor thing. Poor thing. I feel like she got in somebody's vehicle or transportation. I know you're dying here. She got in somebody's vehicle or transportation, and it was like she waved goodbye to everybody she knew. Goodbye. And they never saw her alive again. She was stabbed repeatedly, almost as if somebody had a grudge against her. I feel like she got into the car with somebody she didn't know, or the vehicle with somebody she didn't know. He had money. She liked money. He had an accent, but I don't think it was a real accent because it doesn't sound real. It's almost like, oh, you get in the car and it's like, oh, they were talking all suave and then they're not. It's the feeling I get, like, oh, deception right out the gate. I feel like if the police had searched this person's vehicle, they would have found quite a few beads off of her dress. Like, she was a spitfire and pissed. Like, it wasn't like, oh no, don't kill me. It was like, I am going to take skin off of you. And she went nuts in this car. And if the police had ever found this vehicle and searched the car, they would have found plenty of beads from her dress. Her dress was, and it doesn't help because those photos would, if there's any photos of her ever, or if there's any articles about her, they're not going to tell you what color dress she wore generally, but her dress was blush. She loved it. It was blush. It made her look very pale, and it made her look very pristine and porcelain, and her hair was very dark. So she liked that look. This is actually an unsolved murder. Unsolved murder to this day. When they found her, her leg was almost in a position that looked like it had been broken. And her head was totally off to the side. It's because she had struggled so much that when he finally drug her out of the car, there was hurt. She was hurt. There was hurt. Oh, good question, Brian. Let's see where she's at. Let me see if I can figure out where she's at. I'm going to have to agree with this Chicago thing, actually. I feel like I'm going to have to agree with the Chicago thing. Because when I ask about this, I get, and I have a family connection, kind of a family connection. I hear, and of course, Capone can be across all sorts of places, right? I hear Capone, but I hear the Purple Gang. I hear the Purple Gang. And this is because I'm asking location. Doesn't mean that the Purple Gang was involved or that Capone was involved. It just means those are areas that the Purple Gang, they would have gone between Detroit and Chicago. The Purple Gang would have actually closer to Toledo, Ohio, and they lived in they had bases in they had hideouts in Point Place, Toledo, actually. So they would have gone between here and there. So it's between there. A lot of blood. So I know she has a lot of blood on the ground. Yes, Capone was in the mob. I have a hard time giving Capone shit, though. I really, really do. I know that's wrong, isn't it? But he actually was instrumental in me sitting here. So I have a hard time giving Capone shit. we go with Capone. Not on all things, obviously. This had absolutely nothing to do with greed. It had nothing to do with wanting anything she had. It was purely just to kill somebody. She's third in line. She was the third victim. He had already killed 2 people before her. He killed 4 people after her. It was a serial killer situation. Never caught. Never caught. It was just an opportunity. It was just an opportunity. And she was pretty. Why not? Right? You've been studying all that? What have you been studying? The 20s? She just was this very big personality. And she keeps going, I didn't live past 23. You know, I'm supposed to be old. I'm supposed to be old. But yeah. Interesting. I'm yeah, he's still serial. He 2 before her and then after her. No, that so much. And that's kind of what I kind of thought from the beginning, because I'm like, if he did not know her, he had aggression issues and was taking it out on just women in general. So, oh, you speak on vaudeville. There's a reason, right? I think that you probably went more into let's jump back into another life, and that at that time you weren't ready for nothing anymore. You weren't ready to just be over things. You needed to be in an active role at that time in life. So I feel like you probably reincarnated pretty quickly. Okay, interesting. I bet you could look it up and find something. Bet you could. But they do talk about the area that the Purple Gang would have been in. So the Al Capone story is my grandmother was married to the mob in Chicago. She was married to a mob minion, and when she lived in Chicago when she was very young, and he was an alcoholic and abuser, and he was beating her. She was very young, and she had 2 little girls, my Aunt Phyllis and my Aunt Teresa, and they actually happened to be um, hiding Al Capone in the basement. There was a hidden trap thingy in the basement, and they were hiding Al Capone in the basement, and he had lived there for like a month. He was hiding from whoever, and one afternoon the husband came home, and he was knocking the snot out of my grandma, straight from my grandma's mouth, you guys, knocking the snot out of my grandma. And Al Capone come up the stairs, beat the holy F out of this guy. gave my grandma a shit ton of money, escorted her out the door, and told her to go make a new life for herself. She did not have to worry about him anymore. And poof, he was gone. So, as you can understand, our family has an affinity, at least I do, for Al Capone. And he was a huge family man. There's a lot of things you don't hear about him. You hear about all the horrible, horrible things he did. But boy, did he think family should be respected above all things else. So, mhm. Yeah. He made the underground tunnels in Moose Jaw. He left it there. Really. Yeah, he was interesting. He was interesting. Not somebody I plan on channeling, okay, not calling that energy in, but interesting nonetheless. Okay. That's our story on Al Capone. I think I think it's an incredible piece of family history. And the fact that we're from Point Place where all the Purple Gang hung out, and there's such a seedy past back there. Now it's just potheads. Can you access concurrent or parallel lives of a soul? Let me look. Let me look. I'm not going to do any if I can, because I would like to look into it more, but it's a great question. Okay, I'm going to give you an answer. Your entire life. I don't think I confirmed your entire life, Liz, but you're cute. I love you. I'm going to give you an answer, Kelly. And what I can tell you is when I go to the halls, because this is so funny, because I go to the halls and I'm like, because there's areas that when I get there, as the human brain has capacity to step into, right? The human brain also, it has these limitations. Hi, Mystical Gypsy. It has these limitations because, well, it's human. It's squishy and it's fleshy and it's here. The soul doesn't, right? The soul doesn't. But the human brain wants to block some things out. So I can tell you that in my Akashic calls, when I step in, I have a Dewey Decimal System right down the center. I will go and or doors. When I'm doing Soul Akashic Awakening, it's doors, because I will open the door and bring in the soul fragment, do the healing session, walk it across to the person we're working on within trance, and then they get to actually, and they're consciously aware of this whole thing that happens. Because they're in trance with me. It's a really freaky thing. And then they get to soul and fold that fragment back into their soul from past lives, right? So I use doors for that. So as I go in and I'm asking this question, Saint Germain's looking at me like, and he's almost tapping his foot a little bit. And I can look beyond him and see dimensions, like light beings doing different things in different scenarios in dimensions behind him, almost like door 1, door 2, door 3, door 4. I think my husband just came home. So when it comes to the answer is yes, but I need more time to work on it, because it's something I would have to really dig into. And you're talking about interdimensional work. Interdimensional, let me just tell you what's going on interdimensionally. It's a little bit deeper than that. It's a lot more deeper than that. But the other thing is, there's also a lot of extraterrestrial aspect to that, and it's very, very high vibe. So you have to kind of cherry pick where you're going to work. So I'll look into it. And see the feasibility of being able to pull something on like that onto this, because here's where it is. Here's where the real meat of it is. There's a lot of people that want to know, but what do they want to know? I mean, is it going to benefit them? And some people are going to ask and not realize that they might not even need to know what they're doing in another dimension, because it may ring differently than what they're doing now. And I don't want anybody judging this life against another dimension. I know it sounds really strange. I'm just going with what I'm told to say here. I don't want anybody judging this life with another dimension, because what if you're the ex-murderer in the other dimension? Happens, right? So I'm going to look into it, and I'm going to talk to Saint Germain about it and ask about the pros and cons, and we'll go from there. My husband just walked in. Don't forget, you guys, if you're in the membership, Isis is getting on in a little over 15 minutes. And 15 minutes, and she's going to be doing guest readings within the private membership. So if you're there, be there, don't be square. Okay. All right. I have a couple people I want to go make sure are invited into the group before we start. So yeah, we need the lessons on earth. So if we're judging against one thing against the other, it's kind of a implication there, centered wise, right? Because then where are we centered? Are we worried about what's going on over there? The reason we're here and not all over. So, all right, guys, I'm out. I have to go invite some people into the group so that they have access to Isis doing her live this evening. And we will talk to you guys later. I'm on the Divine I Am at 6:30 on Thursday, Central Standard. Eastern, no, Central, 7:30 Central Standard. Jeez, Lisa, write stuff down. Central Standard, 7:30 Central Standard Time on Thursday. I'm on the Divine I Am. All right. All right, guys. I'll talk to everybody later. Have a wonderful evening. You guys have some incredible past lives. Odin says it's time to be done. So here we go. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Find light, find love, find joy, feel divine because you are.